Well, hello! Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast, the podcast where I almost knocked the sign over at least 14 times in one episode. I'm your host, Elizabeth, and I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host, Marcus.
Hello, howdy.
And we're sort of joined by
Oh, she looks so angry today.
She looks real mad. That's what happens when we don't poop all day. You just look down.
Yeah, you're
Anyways,
being blasted live on Twitch, Pete.
It's just getting blasted on Twitch?
Yeah. Because he said she didn't poop. Or pee, or whatever.
Oh, yeah. And we haven't pooped. We all know that feeling. Get some prunes, Pete. Anywho, happy Smackdown. This was not the worst Smackdown I've ever seen.
Not the best.
It wasn't stellar, but there were at least two things where I was like, huh, I didn't hate that. So, I mean, that's usually what I gauge my Smackdowns by.
Yeah?
I don't know, you look off into the distance like you're not even here.
Sorry, I'm trying to grab our biggest fall of the night, or of the week. And you introduced the podcast.
I know, but I like a little banter. I like when we banter a little bit.
I don't like banter.
No.
Banter,
we're bantering.
Banter makes this podcast too interesting. Nobody wants to see an interesting podcast.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Everyone,
you tweeted, by the way?
I did. Everyone wants to see a boring old podcast they can just leave on in the background, basically white noise.
I personally, as a Gemini, think banter is great. But, you know, Mercury is in retrograde. We're both Mercury ruled signs. Communication's a little off right now. So it's okay. That's fine. But you know what would make our communication fantastic?
Those AirPods you have?
I'm an asshole now.
The ones that you can't use the mic out of?
Fuck you. Did you hear that? Was the mic fine there? Was that good?
A little tinny.
Oh my god. It's interesting, because my mic wouldn't be horrible if the mic that was yours didn't break.
You're the one who'd been using it for weeks. It wasn't broken until you were using it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is this the banter you wanted? I'm just trying to provide banter for you right now.
I also wanted friendship, but apparently I can only have one.
You got the cat.
You want to be friends? She won't even look at me, dude.
Oof, maybe you don't have friendship.
Alright.
News?
Have fun with the podcast. I was gonna just...
News.
Drink.
News.
You want the news?
Hi, welcome to the Pinfall Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Mark.
Are you having fun?
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
I just want to make sure you're having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because, like, you having fun is the most important thing to me of all of the things.
Yeah.
I would throw that, but Pizza's in bed, and I don't want to scare her so that she poops on the bed. Also, if she poops in the middle of this podcast, you are 100% coming in here to bag it up after your banter. Shall we talk about the news?
Not anymore. Let's skip the news. Podcast is canceled, everybody. Oh. All right. Let's start the news.
All right, so I've got a couple of like fun pieces of news. Um, let's start with the boring ones. WWE Backstage is officially canceled. Thought that was pretty much obvious at this point. It is being replaced by Talking Smack. Officially, this is the official exchange that we're getting. It is also important to note my camera's going out because I'm cleaning it right now. It looked blurry. Hi. Look at those colors; they're so crisp. Anyways, so in addition to that, Ben Carter has joined WWE from AEW, which is like one of the first times I've ever gotten to say that, except for last week when we talked about Tina Sabi.
Who's joining from AEW?
Ben Carter. Not EC3, a different Carter. The first of his kind. Ben. I've never heard of the dude, but maybe I'm silly. I'll go with the happier news, and then I'll go into the sadder news. So Kairi is joining the WWE again, but in a different capacity this time. She is going to be on the Japanese announce team for Hell in a Cell. They promoted this as like a big thing, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but
I know she's, since like as soon as she left WWE here, she's immediately started working for WWE in Japan as like part of their, I think their managerial team, something like that.
I mean, it makes sense. I think because her whole reason for leaving wasn't that she like didn't want to be in WWE anymore. She just didn't want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
So that's cool news. Some shittier news though. Apparently, Tucky and Otis did not know that they were being split up until like the last possible second before the draft.
I assume that's how it is for a lot of them.
I read that and I was like, what the fuck?
They gotta stop making it look like an actual draft where everyone's like actually worried. Because this is a TV show after all.
Yeah, it's sports entertainment if you forgot.
Entertainment.
Yeah. But it's I don't know. It just kind of sucks because, like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, especially during COVID, where it's like y'all are probably in the same vicinity of one another. But it's just like, it kind of sucks. Like, you work with somebody for like a little while, you wouldn't want to be like split up from them. I feel like just like randomly, as if it means nothing.
Right, but at least they're still doing stuff. Like Tucky's still on SmackDown in some capacity. Like, it seems like they're putting the storylines to rest or giving us some closure after the fact, which I guess I kind of like, because if it was like constantly they would put the storylines to rest and give us closure before the draft, we could immediately assume who's going where.
Right. It does annoy me that like there are a lot of fights that we're seeing that are like the same as fights that we just saw on Raw, except it's just on Friday night now, which is kind of like pissing me off. But from the kind of shitty news to the incredibly good news, I guess maybe Mick Foley apparently had a top secret meeting with WWE. He has not released the details on what happened in that meeting, but he said that he will release the details on what happened in that meeting at some point in the future. If it's not Mick Foley coming back in some capacity where I get to see him on a semi-regular basis, I'm not interested.
I would assume he'd be coming back in the same capacity JBL is still around. Or Booker T.
I'm just interested to see because I mean, like the last time that he was on was in 2019, and he got attacked by the Fiend.
Huh.
So I wonder if he's gonna play like a sort of not necessarily fighting role, obviously, but like a standing by kind of role. Maybe not necessarily like as an announcer, but as someone.
What if the trade-off for him being more involved is that he has to stop producing Dark Side of the Ring, at least WWE events. He has to focus more on AEW, even though they've only been around for a year.
Oh God. I mean, they just got actually AEW just got in trouble again, I think, because some guy got injured and the refs didn't stop the match when they should have, or something. I didn't bother reading the article, but it was just like another botch. I think like how what happened with Matt Hardy, where it was like probably shouldn't have kept going.
I mean, that's happened in WWE many times,
Well, I
even
mean, like
recently. What?
Slapjack got
Oh,
Slapjack got fucking knocked out, and Eddie Orango was just like,
yeah,
what now? Are you having a wrestling match?
yeah.
But my last piece of news, and perhaps the funniest piece that I have, also not the funniest because it's kind of like from dark beginnings. WWE is holding mandatory relationship counseling following the speaking out allegations. The first session will be required by all members of the WWE across the board. Everyone has to be involved in that one, and then they will have individual meetings.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, relationship counseling for who?
Okay. Hang on. Let me.
What relationships?
I think when they say relationship counseling, what they mean is like interpersonal relationships, not just like romantic ones.
Is it a nicer way of saying, like a sexual awareness policy or whatever?
I think so. Here, hang on. Let me find it.
I mean, I feel like this stuff should have been mandated in the first place.
I feel like this stuff shouldn't have to be mandated.
I mean, fair.
All right, so here, let me read you this article, or part of it. Oh, also, I just forgot about this. Ben Carter, he's joined WWE, but I believe he will be joining NXT UK because the reason why he was let go by AEW is because he can't travel right now. So for the moment, he will be on NXT UK. Forgot to mention that. Okay, so it says, as a result of the hashtag Speaking Out movement, all WWE talents will undergo a mandatory counseling session on maintaining healthy relationships. Real quick, mind you, this is from WrestleTalk.com. I don't want to pretend like I said any of this myself. The session is going to take place on the 20th of October. It will be presented by Total Life Counseling, which is based in Orlando, Florida. There will be a main session first, which all talent has to attend, and then there will be separate sessions with individuals after that. Then the article goes on to list why they might need to have this right now.
I don't think it has to do with Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle, do you?
Oh, well, yeah. I think it has to do with on a primary level, it has to do with Matt Riddle, Jordan Devlin, Jack Gallagher, all those people. And then on a secondary level, I think it has to do with Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle, Paul Heyman, AJ Styles. Sami Zayn is back, and apparently Sami Zayn pisses off everyone backstage. You know, I think it's just general, hey guys, this is how you should treat other people. Which, again, why does that need to be done?
I don't know. I guess in a field, in an industry where your job is being aggressive with people and finding... That was very loud.
Was it? Yeah, I thought it was.
And finding ways to talk shit and belittle your peers.
And maim.
And maim, yeah. I feel like it's very much needed, actually.
I mean, yeah. I think the thing for me is that if this is actually um a product of the speaking out movement, that's where I'm like, this there should not be several names on a list of people that have gotten in trouble in the past year for sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is the only reason that they're doing this, then yeah, that it feels a little crazy that this has to be done. I get why it does, but it's just beyond me. But also, yes, I think not only should they be having this sort of relationship counseling, they also need to have like a ring safety meeting sometime soon, because I saw so many botched moves tonight that could have easily resulted in somebody just like cracking a bone in half.
I mean, I feel like that's like one of the first things they teach you. It's just sometimes you can't just be like, oh, wait, nope, I was taught to do this. Like, you can't really stop yourself, you know?
Well, yeah, but you've got to be in a position where you wouldn't have to stop yourself.
Right. Also, one thing we forgot to mention, stay tuned to the end of the show because we're going to do our predictions for Hell in a Cell, which is this coming Sunday.
Oh, our predictions for Hiak?
For yeah?
Yeah.
I will keep in touch on the WWE Twitter in case more matches are announced, just because there's only 5 that are announced right now. And I have a feeling more will come out very soon.
Yeah, we can post that on Twitter too. I will be doing all of my matches in real time, or predictions rather, because I haven't made any.
Yep.
Shit.
All right. So, do we have more news?
We do not actually.
Well, yes, we do actually. It's a small piece of news, but news nonetheless. Keith Lee is recording lines for his new walkout song. It's About Time.
I hope that's what the walkout song is called.
It's About Time.
Yeah.
That should be Kushida's walkout song.
Honey. I'm glad that he's also the one recording the lines for it.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Let's get this posted up. Alright, Pete's, you posted up? She is cocked.
Oh no.
Alright, bring us in.
So, we started off with the KO show where Kevin Owens announced his guest, which was Daniel Bryan, of course.
Maybe.
And it was a very friendly KO show at first. Kevin Owens kind of wanted to. He said he hasn't gotten a tag team title, and says that now would be a great opportunity to, with the help of Daniel Bryan as his tag team partner.
And Kevin said, like, I don't have, like, anybody that I could compete with. And Daniel's like, yeah, well, you betrayed a lot of your friends, so. It's like, Daniel, sit back.
Kind of true. Although I would have
I
would have loved to see a tag team of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
I crave only one thing.
Yeah. But while they're talking about that, Dolph and Robert Roode come out. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You guys think you would be a tag team? Well, we're a tag team, so we're mad. And then Street Profits come out. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You guys tag team, we tag team. And then Cesaro and Shinsuke come out and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This SmackDown, we SmackDown tag team. And then we got into a big brawl.
You missed a point that Danny B says he wants the Intercontinental title defended every week.
Oh, yeah.
So he wants a title defended every week, and he said, I think a great place to start would be the Intercontinental Championship. And I was like, I really expected Sammy to come running out and be like, no, and then run back.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I was not excited for this match. I actually enjoyed this match a lot. Please, Mr. Helicopter.
It's not getting picked up at all on the mic.
Getting picked up in my brain. Does that not count for anything?
No.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so we start with Shinsuke attacking Mr. Kevin Owens in the corner and Daniel Bryan suspiciously missing from the apron. There's an inverted atomic drop to Shinsuke, and then a clothesline, and then a powerbomb to Shinsuke, all from Kevin. Dawkins gets in, Cesaro gets in. There is a forearm to Dawkins' face. Roode gets in. I believe at this point, Daniel Bryan had come back. He had originally come out for the KO show in a suit, or in a blazer and jeans, rather. So he went back to change and come back to the match, which I appreciated. Roode is in. He goes for the elbow drop, but Dawkins rolls away and tags in Montez. Dawkins then assists Montez in a moonsault onto Mr. Robert Roode. Roode then tries to suplex Montez, but Montez slips free. Roode tags in Dolph. Montez avoids Robert Roode laying on the canvas, but then is dropkicked by Ziggler. The ref goes to yell at Team Face, I guess we could call them. I'm not going to say all their names. And while he's doing that, Shinsuke kicks Montez in the head through the ropes. Robert Roode gets back in. Roode gets a backbreaker onto Montez. Cesaro gets in. There's a boot to the chest of Montez, and then Cesaro stomps Montez's head. Then there is a European uppercut from Cesaro. Shinsuke gets in. There's a drop knee to Montez. Cesaro gets back in. And honestly, sometimes it bothers me how much they tag in and out, especially just for the sake of my notes. I love the two pals getting along and just working in sync with each other. I think it works really well. And now that I've said that, they'll probably break up in like 2 weeks.
Who? Cesaro and Shinsuke?
Yeah.
No, they won't break up.
I know. I just feel like anytime I utter the fact that I enjoy something from WWE, they're like, and what if we took that away? And I'm like, I'll still give you $9.99 a month, I guess. But Cesaro gets back in. There's another boot to the chest of Montez. And then he gets a submission hold on the man before Montez finally powers out. And Cesaro throws him back into the corner. While he does that, though, Montez manages to get up, and while Cesaro watches from inside the ring, punches Robert Roode off the apron, punches Shinsuke off the apron, punches Dolph off the apron, and then Cesaro's just like, "Oh no, my friend! So I'm gonna hurt you." Daniel Bryan gets in against Cesaro. There's a kick to the chin of Cesaro, and then Daniel sends the Swiss man through the ropes. And then Daniel Bryan dives out upon Cesaro and very nearly grazes over his shoulder into, like, the fucking ether. Then Cesaro gets back into the ring. In the corner, there is a dropkick to Cesaro's chest from Daniel Bryan. Daniel then jumps over Cesaro as Cesaro runs at him and lands wrong on his knee. And interestingly enough, this was 5 seconds after Corey mentioned, oh, well, Daniel kind of hurt his knee at that 40-minute match against AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And we reflected on it, and then he tweaks his knee in this match. I'm like, okay. Sure.
Corey also had the script in front of him, like, and now Daniel Bryan will land from the turnbuckle and oh shit.
Every once in a while they do that, though, where they're just, like, they'll say, like, And now he's going for the power bomb before like the guy even like lifts the person in the air, and I'm like, no. This is like when closed captioning is just off by a little bit, and you're like watching Jeopardy or something. You're like, fuck. Anyways, Cesaro begins taking advantage of the fucked up knee. Robert Roode gets in, does the same thing. Dolph gets in, does the same thing. Cesaro gets back in, stomps on the knee, and then pulls it back into a submission hold. He does the swing to Daniel Bryan, which I really wish that had a better name, by the way. As far as I know, it's just called the swing.
I think the swing's good. The merry-go-round.
Like the Swiss Twister.
Swiss Twister? The Swister?
The Swister! Cesaro, you can thank me later. It's fine. I'll wait. He then tags in Ziggler. Dolph starts doing like the weird Randy shit where he like kind of like slithers a little bit, and I was like, ugh, I don't need to see this like twice a week, if not 3 times a week now, because if you include Sunday. Ziggler goes for the flying head scissors, but Daniel Bryan catches him and then catapults him into the buckle. Daniel Bryan, however, cannot get back to his corner before Ziggler tags in Robert Roode, who punches Dawkins off, I think, or Dolph punched Dawkins off the apron. I don't really know. Roode goes to attacking the knee, and then like looks like he's kind of setting up for the superplex. Daniel Bryan fights him down, and then drop kicks him off the top rope, and a massive loogie flies out of Robert Roode's mouth. It was disgusting. I always like playing the game of tooth or loogie. You gotta like wait 5 minutes until like you see blood from their mouth or not.
Yeah.
It's always fun. Dawkins finally gets in. Shinsuke gets in. There's a clothesline to Shinsuke. Just like, this is my favorite thing when Dawkins gets in. It's just clothesline after clothesline after clothesline after clothesline until something else happens. And that something else was drop kicking Cesaro and then Dolph. Dawkins then splashes Shinsuke in the corner, pulls off a nice little fucking bulldog. And Shinsuke is not harmed in any way by this because he pulls off a backstabber to Dawkins. And it's fair is fair. Cesaro gets tagged in. Shinsuke takes Montez off the apron. There's a spine buster to Dawkins, and then Kevin Owens jumps in and just kind of gently nudges Cesaro with his foot to get him off of Angela. That was very nice. Wasn't too rough. Kevin Owens sends Shinsuke out. Then there's a stunner to Robert Roode, a DDT to Dolph. He powerbombs Cesaro. There's Daniel Bryan says, hey, fuck this knee, I guess. Goes off the apron, sending his knee straight into Shinsuke for no good reason. Done. And then Kevin Owens takes out Dolph and Roddy. Dolph and Robert. And then finally, the lovely Montez frog splash onto Cesaro to win and finish this match. I really like this match. I thought it was really fun.
It was fun, and it wasn't too chaotic either.
The moment that everyone started coming out for that fucking promo, I was like, oh, fucking 8-man tag match. That's going to be so hard for me. I hate taking notes on those. I had the time of my fucking life.
Mostly because it was 2 tag teams still.
Yeah. It was concise.
But after that, we had Law and Otis.
Dun, dun.
Where they really were liberal with that dun dun sound effect, and that was the best part of it. Otis was representing himself, and we didn't really get into the meat of it here, but we kind of had our opening statements. Miz's lawyer gives her opening statement, which I think the Miz takes over for. And then Otis makes his opening statement, which is just, I was at Money in the Bank, I won the match, and I earned the contract. Miz and Morrison are laughing at that, but then Miz's lawyer says, no, that's a really good point. That's a really good argument. And then the Miz just fires his representation.
Fair enough.
And I should also mention JBL is the judge. Ron Simmons is the bailiff. And who was the typer, the copy person?
Transcriber. Isn't it a transcriber?
Stenographer.
Yeah. The transcriber was stenographer. There you go.
Is that actually it?
It was Theodore Long.
Theodore
yes,
Long.
It is a stenographer, court stenographer. Theodore Long. Which he wasn't in this first part, but I'm glad you mentioned that now. I love seeing Ron Simmons. I don't know why. I just like see him and I'm just like, I feel okay today.
It's weird to think that JBL and Ron Simmons were like in APA together.
I thought it was. I did not think it was called the APA.
I have no idea, but when Ron Simmons was wearing the APA shirt, that's what it was. I
should have made that connection. However, looking at young JBL,
I'm not going to bring up any alleged stuff that happened. But instead,
no, I was going to say that he's attractive.
I know.
Kind of like a jacked Ethan Hawke.
I'm instead going to move on to the next thing, which Bianca Belair is introduced for her next match. But we cut away from that for a promo, which is Street Profits, Daniel Bryan, and Kevin Owens backstage after their match, and they're cheering, they're happy after their win. Daniel Bryan says, "Fist me, boys." Everyone takes a pause, but then jumps right into it. They all walk away, and it's just Daniel Bryan, who's then approached by Sami Zayn. And Sami was like, "Hey, so you said the Intercontinental title should be defended every day, every week, right?" And Daniel Bryan was like, yeah, it is. It should be. And then Sami Zayn was like, cool. Did you forget that I beat you for the title? I beat you at WrestleMania for the title, so you should stop talking shit. How about that?
Daniel's just like, I wasn't really talking shit, but like, vibes.
And then after that, we go to Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega.
I just like wanted a match where
what?
I don't know, dude. It's like if you're gonna promo the shit out of somebody and you basically make their first competitor look like enhancement talent, there's like a difference between like making it like look like a hard-earned fight, like something that like if I'm about to do like a 2-year-old's out like addition homework, yeah, I'm gonna look fucking good because I know how to add numbers. If I'm able to somehow ace a geometry test at this point in my life, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that she was like fighting things that looked a little more like she's showing off her actual skill. Like this looked like it was a piece of cake for her.
I mean, yes, but also they should have made Zelina look better. Like, it's Zelina.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Like, Zelina Vega is not enhancement talent. I'm sure if they were allowing NXT and trainees to coexist with the main roster, we would have gotten enhancement talent. But also it doesn't help that the SmackDown roster is so slim right now. Also don't know why after Carmella was revealed we haven't seen her at all. I'm just realizing that.
Dude, you know why?
Why?
I mean, this is me positing, but it's probably because they finally revealed her and everyone was like,
Okay.
I think that they realized, like, oh shit, this is not what we thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to make sure that her actual reveal, like her debut, is gonna be good.
Right. And I think we're gonna get like maybe a feud between her and Bianca, eventually leading to one of them, probably Bianca, getting the SmackDown Women's Championship after Sasha wins it at Hell in a Cell, and then Sasha defends it for the first time at a pay-per-view event because she always loses every pay-per-view defense that she has of that title.
That'd be a really cool match, Bianca versus Sasha.
Yeah.
Because, like, Zelina's scrappy. She's a little, like, out of her fucking gourd half the time
Mm-hmm.
when she's fighting, and that's good. But Sasha also follows it up with, like, being just an absolute beast.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, shall we talk about the match? Sorry.
I mean, what's there to talk about?
Yeah.
A bunch of botched flying head scissors.
I have 8 notes to get through.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are any of them the
so-
botched flying head scissors?
They are, yes. One of them is.
Okay, good.
That is the 6th note.
Nice.
So we start the lockup. Zelina is backed into a corner and walks herself up the buckles, and then you think, oh, she's walking herself up the buckles, like maybe she's gonna do something fucking cool. She slaps Bianca. It's a hard slap, but she slaps her. Not cool. Bianca then pulls her down because she's pissed off that somebody slapped her, and then throws her back first into the canvas. Zelina then kicks Bianca in the tush, which pisses Bianca off more. Bianca then tosses Zelina into the canvas again. There's a massive fucking shoulder tackle and then a standing moonsault into a kip up to Zelina. From Bianca, I guess that's a better way to phrase that. Zelina tries to escape the ring, and Bianca pulls her back in by her little leggies. Zelina then kicks Bianca in the face a few times, and then let's discuss the flying head scissors. Oh, I don't even know if I have the botched one. It might be the botched one. It's flying head scissors.
I think both were botched.
Well, Zelina's was pretty decent. There was something that Bianca did that was supposed to be like a flying head scissors, and my brain turned off. I don't think I actually took a note on this because my brain just shut off because I didn't understand it.
I know Zelina did too, and both of them, like, she flew and then Bianca rolled.
I know that, okay, the second one was okay. I know that the second one was because that's what I'm on. The first one I think was like just fucking weird. However, what I am going to talk to you about, as I did not actually take that note on the flying head scissors, that was fucked up, was the toss power bomb type thing that she tried to do, or like the pancake into the canvas, where like Zelina looked like she was trying to do something, Bianca caught her, and then like the whole point was that Bianca was supposed to be like, because like, like when you have like a weight that's like, it's half her shit, is like treating a person's body like it's a barbell or whatever. So I think her idea was Zelina was kind of attacking her from the front, so she was going to lift her up, toss her in the air, and then spike her into the canvas.
Right.
But she kind of fumbles like the movement between picking her up and tossing her. So it's just like jumbled, and then just a panicked like slap on the back as she goes down to the canvas. And I was like, ladies, one of y'all is going to either break your fucking nose or die. Let's figure it out. We only have so many women on the roster right now. We can't afford to lose y'all. But then Bianca does what Bianca does best. She lifts Zelina over her head, slams her into the top buckle, and then picks her up again, puts her over her head into the KOD to win. If you didn't think Bianca was going to win this match, I'd love to live on the same plane as you.
Yeah, I'm tired. I
Oh
am.
God, you want to?
I just want to say I am so tired of how they're pushing Bianca. Because we're just getting like these stupid vignettes and promos that mean they literally mean nothing. The little promos have just shown that she's overly competitive, as has been ruining all of her friendships by being so overly competitive. And all of her matches have been like against people who she has no right losing to, like Zelina, like Peyton. I think she fought Billy as well. Like these are all people that, fine, you should be winning against these people. This isn't a push. Shotzi is a good example of a push. That is the best push I've seen recently.
I think I didn't have so many problems with the earlier promos,
Mm-hmm.
just because like I understood it. Like she's super competitive, but she has a right to be competitive because she's got the shit to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
I understood that for the most part. And when they first started doing it, it hadn't been long enough since we had last seen her that I felt like, oh, they're bringing her back. I thought, oh, they were going to show that first promo, that one where she was in the weight room with the guy. I thought they were going to show that, and then she was going to come out for a match. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize that we were going to have a month-long Bianca, clip show. And the thing is that it's like, I obviously like I'm on the same page as you. Um, I just don't get it, I guess. You don't have a ton of people that are like right to be challenging for either women's title after Sasha, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I guess you can argue Nia and Shayna have a right to be challenging for especially Shayna for the Raw Women's title, but I mean a Bianca Asuka match would be so fucking wild. First of all,
It would be.
um,
Also, Bianca, Nia,
even Bianca and
Bianca,
Nikki
Shayna.
Cross. Yeah, there's so many people that she could fight. I don't understand why you would go so fucking hard on these like promos in a way that they have not been doing for the other women, which again, that's fine if you're pushing somebody. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Um like you don't watch somebody run for class president and then ask why all their posters are all over the fucking hallway.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. But if you're pushing her, make it like look like she's being challenged. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and what you were saying about Shotzi is like a perfect example because Shotzi, we didn't get any like, look at Shotzi, she's so talented, she's amazing. What we got was Shotzi just kind of stepped in one time, was like, hey, I'll fight for this fucking title. Like she had like that one match against Io, and
Yeah.
then after that, we just got to see a bunch of good fucking Shotzi matches where I was like, yeah, she deserves the goddamn title. Like, yeah, Bianca deserves the title in the same way that I would say Naomi does, in the same way that I would say um, Sasha does, and even Shayna. There's like so many people that do deserve it, and I know they do because I see them fight and they're talented.
You see the difference between Bianca's push and Shotzi's? Shotzi has been fighting the best that NXT has. The best that SmackDown has are Bayley and Sasha, and they're already in a feud. That's it.
This Bayley and Sasha feud has really fucked them, I think, because like they could have ended it a couple months earlier, and no one would have said anything. Especially because of how quickly they changed Bayley's character in the first place. Like that was across the fucking spectrum of a change. This Bayley change is not that much different. It's just angrier. It's really just like not to go into like the fucking like metaphors again or whatever they are, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like don't put all the bells and whistles onto something and then give me considerably less. Like, if you're going to tell me that Bianca Belair is the most talented fucking female wrestler in the goddamn world right now, cool. I kind of believe you.
Or
let me see it, though.
Or at least have Zelina wrestle like she is one of the best. Because we know she's capable of great things. She challenged Asuka for the Raw Women's title and gave us a hell of a match. Yeah. So we know she's capable of it, but they booked her like she was some kind of enhancement talent today.
Yeah, it's again, I think that they fucked themselves with this Bayley and Sasha thing because, like, right now your two most important people, as far as like your two biggest talents, and even to a lesser note, I mean, obviously Nikki's gone right now. Alexa has her own fucking storyline. She's on Raw now, actually, so I guess that doesn't even count. But your female talent pool is so limited that this extended Bayley and Sasha storyline and this extended drought of talent that was aggravated by the draft has made it so it's like your two top people are unavailable to do any other storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at the very least, like, I don't know, let Bianca be like someone off to the side of like that storyline or something. Like, at least show me signs that there is a future for this that isn't just Bianca fighting every tiny girl that exists.
Like, let Bianca be like a confidant for Sasha, help her turn face, you know?
Yeah. It drives me crazy. I don't know. I can't even say that, like, it's got anything to do with Bianca. It's just like they're fucking marketing this shit so poorly because they're doing such a good job and the payoff is crap.
Mm-hmm. But with all that said, we have our next match. Again, I guess a match.
What the fuck is happening? All right. Shorty G, out in the ring, talking to Kayla Braxton. First of all, I almost always forget what Shorty G sounds like. I don't know what I expect his voice to sound like. It's never that. It never is. So Shorty G is fighting Lars. And I took a sip of my drink every time they said the freak, and I started feeling a little tipsy, because it was a lot of times for such a short fucking match. But basically Shorty G says when he's out in the middle of the ring, like, I couldn't get drafted to Raw, I couldn't, you know, I'm an Olympic athlete, and, like, I'm being treated like shit. I was like, I don't know how much of this is fake, honestly, but okay. Because it's true. Anyways. So Lars comes out. Shorty G immediately, like, he tries to do some shit. He's a little man. Shorty G tries to crossbody Lars. Lars just catches him and fucking launches him backwards to the ground. G is then pancaked into the canvas. He takes his one opportunity and rakes Lars's eyes, which always makes me cringe a little bit, and then punches him in the throat. Then there's a rolling line kick to Lars, and he tries to do it a second time, but Lars sidesteps him, sending his little leggies into the buckles. Shorty G is then thrown into the opposite corner, clotheslined. Lars executes the freak accident onto Shorty G, and Kayla Braxton, in her infinite wisdom, says, Shorty G just got murdered. I'm going to go interview him while he crawls out of the fucking ring. And she's like, Shorty G, how are you feeling now? And he's like, you know what? I quit. And I said, you too? Damn. Like draft part 2.
Yeah, but it's not what you think. It gets better.
Yeah.
But then we have an interview with Seth where Oh boy, Seth is just like, he's kind of recounting the moments with Murphy and is like, Murphy's making a mistake doing this. He's my disciple. I'm Messiah. Disciple. Messiah. Disciple. That's basically what's going on here. And I mean, it's just lead up for the match later. Um, but after that, we had a little interview with Mr. No Longer Shorty G.
The
Um,
artist formerly known as.
the artist formerly known as Shorty G. He is in the medical area room thing, the infirmary, and he's asked. He's asked by Adam Pierce, like, "Hey man, what's going on? Did I hear you correctly? You said you quit." And Shorty said, "I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I don't want to be Shorty G anymore. Welcome to the ring, Chad Gable." It's about time. It's about goddamn time that he moves away from Shorty G and just goes by Chad Gable.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that like is interesting to me is that Chad kind of already has like a name for himself outside of wrestling, outside of WWE rather. That it's like to be marketed as Shorty G, like, all right.
Yeah,
I mean, kick the little man while he's down, I guess.
when you're an Olympic athlete, being called Shorty G.
I'm excited. I think that we're gonna get some of the best wrestling from him we've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Now that he's gonna go with Chad Gable.
Remember him during that fatal four-way for the Intercontinental contention against Drew Gulak and Lucha House Party? That was great.
Yeah.
Chad Gable. And I think that was when talks were first starting that he was switching up his brand. But I'm glad it's finally happening. But after this, we had Bayley sitting in the ring on her new tag team partner. Weird that she's getting all intimate with her new tag team partner. And she's talking shit about Sasha, being like, "I'm not gonna sign the thing. I don't want to do what she wants me to do. It's not like I agreed to this match or anything." Sasha comes out with the contract in hand and says, "You will sign this goddamn thing whether you like it or not." And they brawl for a little bit. Sasha uses the chair against her after Bayley tries to use it against Sasha. And while Sasha has Bayley in like a pin in the chair, she just holds the contract up to her and has her sign it. And I guess that's confirmed for Hell in a Cell. It sounded like there was going to be a little more like a stipulation or something for the match, but I don't think it will be. I think that was just a feeling I had. But yeah, so contracts finally signed, I guess.
One way to go about it.
Yeah. And that's it. But what I love about this is that you can clearly tell that Bayley is like trying to put up like the macho persona, being like, I don't need this. I don't. Meanwhile, she's like really like scared of fighting Sasha because she knows she's gonna lose. And she's not gonna be able to use the chair in the ring, especially in Hell in a Cell.
Well,
I look, if they won't let her in the ring with a chair.
right, but the thing is that this is not like a cage match. There's room to go underneath. I mean, you saw the Bayley, yeah, the Becky, Sasha
Yeah.
fight where there was everything used. So if they
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, I don't know if there's rules in a Hell in a Cell match. Actually, now that I think about it, assuming that this is in a cell. Because, to be fair, not every Hell in a Cell match is within the cell.
But considering there's only 3 main card matches, like 3 big matches, I think all of them are going to be cell matches. I don't think Jeff Hardy versus Elias will be. I don't think Otis versus The Miz will be. Meanwhile, the other 3 will.
I forgot about Jeff Hardy and Elias.
Yeah.
Pain.
I think that's going to be the opener for Sunday. But then after that, we're back with Law Notice, the main meat of this, where we are now up to testimonies. The first testimony is from John Morrison, who cries on the stand. And
Poor
kind
thing.
of he helps argue the emotional battery that Otis has used against them, apparently. Then up to the stand is Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio said that the only person to walk out of Money in the Bank was Otis. I think the fact that Rey Mysterio was there proves that's not true. But also, he was thrown onto the second roof, so...
He wasn't there the whole time. Just to put that out there.
After Rey was up, Asuka was up. Nobody understood what she said. Don't know why she was the one called up in the first place. And then Tucky was called up. Miz gets permission to treat Tucky as hostile. And it was great because, like, what was it?
JBL said, "It's about time things got hostile."
Yeah. And then after Tucky was up, they had like their closing statements. And the JBL very clearly sided with Otis because emotional and physical battery is like the point of wrestling. Like, it's their brand. It's what the job is, so that's not an argument. And he won the contract fair and square. But The Miz has one last thing to say. He pulls out a briefcase. He has one last piece of evidence. He hands it to Your Honor, JBL. And JBL opens it up.
Least honorable man I know.
Giggles a bit after a cha-ching sound effect. Because I think without that, people would assume the wrong thing.
Oh, I thought it was nudes. Because, like, that sound effect made sense.
It was very obviously intended to be money, and JBL was probably giggling because it was a lot of money, and The Miz is like, he's an A-tier, an A-lister, so he's got a lot of money.
My mind was in the gutter for that whole part of it. Sorry.
Yeah. And then JBL sides with Miz and Morrison, says that there will be a match for the Money in the Bank contract at Hell in a Cell. I mean, expected. You didn't expect this to go the way of Miz and Morrison, then you are a fool.
True.
But then after that, we had the last match of the night.
Messiah versus Disciple.
Messiah, Disciple. Pizza, sa. Lasagna, zanya, za.
I feel like he knows that he's doing it too, because he did it in the ring multiple times, and I think Seth gets stuck on certain shit when he, like, because, like, he said he called Ray Daddy like 14 times in the span of 3 matches once.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's, like, stuck on this because I think he knows what he's doing, and I think Buddy knows what he's doing too, because he did it during the match, and Buddy was laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was, you could not hide it. Buddy was just staring at him like, I was like, guys. We're working here.
I really hope it's intentional.
It's also important to note that Seth said that he and Murray, the difference is that Seth is a savior, and Murphy is a
walk behind her.
Oh yes, a walk behind her. Thank you.
Oh God.
I was like, that's one way to say it. Sure.
So, shall we get into the match?
Yeah. I need to point out again. Murphy was fucking laughing. It broke me. I broke. And that's why I think that they know what they're doing.
I just want to see, like, I like to imagine that they hang out a bunch, like Seth, Murphy, and Becky Lynch go out to dinner together pretty often.
Do you think that they would hang out more than Murphy hangs out with Humberto?
I think Murphy can divide his time. Maybe Umberto comes with them, makes it a 4-person. He's Murphy's date.
A double date.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so cute. It's better than Aaliyah. Let's talk about the match that was really good until it was goddamn fucking horrible, and I wanted to claw my own goddamn eyes out. Oh my god, there's not enough bleach in the fucking. Anyway, we start with a shoulder sub on Seth. There's a takedown from Murphy that ends in a nearly head scissors from Seth, but Murphy breaks up. They get back to standing, and then Seth kind of just jabs Murphy in the face. There's another takedown to Murphy. Seth has him in a headlock for quite a while until Murphy finally powers out, sends a nasty fucking right hook into Seth's face, and Seth kind of just like looks like he doesn't know where he is. Murphy pulls off a neat little flying head scissors to Seth, and then he dives out of the ring onto Seth, but Seth is hiding below the apron. And I thought, oh, and here comes the kendo stick. Murphy picks Seth up, back body drops him into the announce desk, and Seth drops a pair of pliers, and that is the last and first time that they will ever mention those pliers. Those pliers do not come back into play at any point.
Wait, there were pliers?
Yeah, you didn't see them?
No, I did not see the pliers.
Yeah. I can understand why, because it was a pretty quick shot. It was right before commercial. You just see Seth back body dropped into the table, rolling over to the back where the chairs are, and you see a pair of the yellow handled like pliers falling out of his hand. And I was like, oh, so it's gonna be that kind of match. And then it wasn't. And I was like,
was this when he was like flown onto the table, the announce desk?
Yeah.
Where he also kicked the camera?
Yes, at that time. Murphy then goes up to the top rope once we are back from commercials. And Seth takes his legs out from under him. He gets a gut buster off on Murphy and then slams him into the buckles. Murphy kicks Seth in the face before getting up to the second rope to execute a missile dropkick. Murphy then dives over the top rope onto Seth, and Seth acts like it connects when Murphy's ass grazes the top of his shoulder and he falls square on his fucking hip into the fucking ground.
To be fair, they called it a knee, like a glaring knee or something. Like, that it wasn't like anything powerful. It was just kind of like a little grazing, like a drive-by kind of.
We could also call it a really shitty attempt at a dropkick out of the, or not dropkick, sorry. He dove over the top rope, so whatever it was didn't look like it hurt anyone but Murphy.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of something different. You're talking about when Seth when Seth cleared Murphy over top him.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I think they mentioned like
Seth was. All I know is that Seth was outside the ring towards the ramp. Murphy went over the top rope, and like if this is Seth, and this is Murphy's ass right here, Murphy just kind of went.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, no, Corey mentioned, like, that he almost just cleared Seth.
Yeah, it was. I think there was about like a fraction of contact, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
To be fair,
Anywho,
if somebody came at me like that, I would also fall to the ground.
well, to be fair, you're not a wrestler, so step one. Um, Murphy goes up to the top rope though and pulls off a really fucking gnarly Meteora. Seth gets out of the ring. Murphy, however, when he landed that Meteora, somehow, although it is a knee-based move, tweaked his shoulder. And he gets out of the ring. Looks like he's trying to pop his shoulder back into place. Seth follows him out, slams Murphy into the barricade, and then he goes off the top rope, sending a knee to Murphy's face. Murphy's just trying to fucking get out of there. Seth then wrenches Murphy's arm into the apron. Murphy sets up to powerbomb Seth, but he can't hold Seth up because of his newly dislocated shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So Seth takes advantage and does something that I didn't think we could do anymore, which was buckle bombs. But Murphy gets buckle bombed.
I think we've talked about this. It's like you can only throw them if they're facing a certain direction.
I guess. I don't know.
Also, thank you, Jeffrey Drummer Bayakomu, for following. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. I hope I pronounced your name right.
We apologize if we didn't. So then there is a high knee to Seth's face, which that may have been the glaring knee that you were talking about. Murphy then slugs Mr. Seth. There's a step up insecurity to Murphy and then a Falcon Arrow. Seth misses 2 stomps, but connects with a back elbow somehow. So, you take what you can get. Murphy kicks Seth in the side of the face as Seth sits on the top buckle. Then there is finally a stomp to old Murphy, and Mr. Cephalus wins. And of course, as I predicted earlier, the kendo stick makes its first appearance. Seth has it, and Aaliyah, who's been watching this whole time and crying her little 19-year-old child heart out about Murphy getting McMurdered, comes out, and although Ray and Dom are both like, hey, don't do that, she goes and she's like, I'm gonna go save him. And I was like, no, you're not, because we're not allowed to have mixed matches, honey. So nothing's gonna happen. So she comes out. And this is where the bleach started coming in handy. Dom follows her, and Seth attacks Dom because I guess it's muscle memory at this point. And then Ray comes out, and Dominic's like, Aaliyah, what the fuck are you doing out here? Like, stop. You're being ridiculous. And Ray's like, hey, she came out here to defend you. And I was like, no, she didn't. She definitely, at no point did she come out and caress Murphy's sweaty abdomen to defend or support Dominic.
Yeah, no.
The man who was kendo sticked all over the fucking place by the man that she is currently caressing.
She's just horny.
She's 19, we can't say that. In good faith. Morally, I feel opposed to that.
She's just excited. She's just in love.
Anymore. There we go. That's all she's allowed to be. I know I'm only 5 years older than her, however. Like, yeah, what started as like a gentle, lingering touch on the shoulder a couple of matches ago is now Aaliyah with one hand on like his man tit and another hand on his waist. And I was like, I think I'm gonna call someone. I'm gonna call like CPS or something. I don't think they can help me here, but like I feel like I need to go take a shower.
And like
I feel like I personally watched something bad.
She stood like that for like 10 minutes. Meanwhile, Murphy is just like leaning against the ropes, like not moving. He's like, I actually really don't want to do this now.
Poor, like, I mean, because like the thing is that like you're told like, I think for a lot of people besides certain people, um, you're pretty much told like this is probably what's going to happen here. This is where we're going to go with this story. This is what's going to happen at the end of this match, and more or less, especially if you're someone like Murphy, where it's like you don't have that much pull. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
you kind of just have to be like, all right, sure, or else you don't get put on. So
Right.
like, and so like, I can just imagine like being a 30-year-old dude and like having a fucking like creative person come up to you and be like, yeah, so this 19-year-old girl is gonna like be like just touching all over you, and you have to be in love with her, dude. I would straight up be like, I'm calling at least one lawyer, just one. I don't like that at all.
Can I have a double for that? Can I have like a stunt double just for that?
Sami Zayn, same hair.
Just like a 19-year-old lookalike.
It's just, it's so gross. And like, have you ever, I don't know, you're a man. Have you ever watched porn and like you like kind of stumble on something and you're like, I shouldn't be here. And you click out. That's what WWE is doing right now, where I just like stumble onto it and I'm like,
Yeah,
I need to clear my browsing history.
it's like
We don't open the doors for anyone anymore.
it's like when you're a kid and you're watching Cartoon Network late at night and then Adult Swim comes on and you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't be watching this.
I should cleanse my mind right now. It's just, so bad. It's so gross. And like, also, I feel like if I were 19, like maybe, I mean, I think Murphy's hot right now, and I'm sure I would have when I was 19 too. He's jacked. I feel like there would be a part of me that'd be like, hell yeah, I get to fucking touch this hot dude. Fucking brother.
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel like there'd be a part of me that's like, he definitely is uncomfortable. So that makes it so much less fun.
And then you're being forced to do it by TV producers too. Sweaty old Vince McMahon.
Like, I also feel like if I were maybe 18 or so, I'd be like, oh, she's 19. Like, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm only a couple years removed from that, I'm just like, someone call the FBI. I think we have a problem here. JBL's writing the storylines.
But after that, we had a little promo with Paul Heyman where somebody came to the door of Roman's locker room, I guess, and said they're ready for Roman now. And Paul Heyman was just like, you don't tell me when Roman's ready. Roman will come out when he's ready. But then right after that, we had Roman in the ring with Paul Heyman. He doesn't say anything yet, but somebody comes up on the monitor. Looks like Jay. Jay says, he's talking some shit. He's like, what is this cheese? What are these raspberries?
The tribal cheese and the tribal raspberries?
Yeah. And then he pulls down his bandana, takes off his hat, and said, you know what? Let me ask Jay. Because it was Jimmy. And then Jimmy says, oh, you know what? Jay's right behind you. And then Jay just slaps the shit out of Roman. They're brawling for a little bit. Jay gets out of the ring. Jimmy walks down the ramp. Roman looks like he was just hit by a car.
Roman looked like shit.
And then basically Roman threw out the consequences for the match on Sunday, where it's if Jay wins, Roman is not the Universal Champion anymore. Thus, his family cannot be fed, and they're fucked. If Jay loses, then he either has to admit that, or he has to pronounce Roman as the tribal chief and the breadwinner of the family, or him, his wife, Jimmy's wife, all of their kids, they're out of the family. They're not welcome at the table anymore. They have been voted off the island by Roman.
Can I just make a comment? Like, the thing that fucking throws me just a little bit is that, okay, first of all, Naomi is on Wikipedia as both Jimmy's wife and Jay's wife.
Oh no.
Just want to toss that one into the ring.
Jay was really right when he said, he's asked, which one are you?
I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm stupid.
Oh.
I misread. I didn't realize that I was reading the Usos Wikipedia page. They do not have a singular Wikipedia page.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's kind of interesting to me that, like, Naomi's, like, well-known wrestler, well-known for being married to Jimmy. And I just like that he was like, your wives. Like, yeah, okay, Jay's wife is not a wrestler, but Naomi has a name. You can say it.
I really hope we do get Naomi's reaction to this, despite her being on Raw, because this would be the perfect time. This would be like, she could just say to Roman, like, hey, this is fucked up what you're doing.
Is she still injured?
No, I don't think she was injured.
I just know she was out for a reason. I don't remember what it was.
I thought it was just because they haven't had a story for her.
No, I think we found out that she was injured or something, and I said, oh no, what's gonna happen to their family?
I don't know.
Well, right now, while Roman's the tribal chief, I mean, I guess they're fine.
But then they lowered the cage onto Roman and Paul. Jay walks up to the cage. Just climbs it. He just climbs it for some reason.
Like a goddamn cat.
I think he was trying to get over the fence, over the cage, but then realized there's a roof to it this time. I was like, oh no, well, I'll just hang here. He just hangs there for like literally the rest of the episode. He just stares at Roman while Roman's like shouting some shit at him, and Jay's just like, eh.
I think, like, also the thing is, like, if the whole point was that, like, they wanted him to, like, the whole, like, the reason he climbed that was, like, so that he could, like, be over Roman and, like, standing over him, essentially. It's still, like, all right, you got yourself up there. Hey, you gotta get down now. Like, you just look kind of silly. Just kind of, like, just peeking in.
It would have been cool if he made it all the way to the roof and just, like, just laid there staring down at him. That would have been cool.
Sat down, Randy Orton style.
Yeah. Started pissing on him.
Yeah, there we go. I also like that Paul was trapped in the cage with Roman at that point.
Paul was like, oh, he's trapped in the cage with Roman. Roman has the instinct to fight. The only thing to fight is Paul.
Roman also has not eaten, apparently, in like a week.
He's refusing.
Just so broken up over what he's got to do.
He's refusing to eat.
And now he's not only pissed off, but he's also hungry. Paul Heyman's a dead man.
He's hangry.
All right. Shall we?
Before we move on to Best of the Night while you're putting up the sign, we're moving on to our segment. Was it the highest rise or the biggest rise, biggest fall?
We
fall
said
rise.
If I ever made a sign for this.
Ever rise.
We said if I ever made a sign We said that if I ever made a sign, that it would just be a bunch of words.
Yeah, it would be a word cloud of rise, fall, big, small, ever rise. Ever rise would be the biggest word.
Messiah, disciple.
Pizza, lasagna,
Lasagna, za.
But this is a big jump we got here, and for good reason too. Both, well, I don't want to say both. So the biggest rise comes at no surprise here, none. It's Danny Burch for winning the NXT Tag Team title in a main event match. He rose 115 slots in the Mark Mifsud power rankings. And then the biggest fall is actually a 3-way tie. So the first person in this 3-way tie is Ashante the Adonis, falling 36. Oh, I guess all of these fell 36 ranks. Next is Killian Dane. And then after that, from today, Shinsuke Nakamura. All falling 36 ranks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
And that is this week's Rise, Fall, Rise, Ever Rise, Rise of the Romans.
Rise against.
The Fall.
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine, Fallout Boy.
Fall Troy.
So best of the night?
Rise of the Guardians.
Rise of the Guardians.
Okay, that's all. That's all I
got. So, promo of the night. For those of you just tuning in or are new to the show, our bests of the night are where we award some moments of tonight with the best promo, the best fighter / wrestler, and the best fight / match. So our promo of the night, we started off with the KO show with Daniel Bryan, a really good promo with some really funny just interruptions. The fact that like Dolph's song just came literally out of nowhere, and all of these tag teams just appeared because the word tag team was mentioned once. But it does give us like a cool glimpse of the tag team of Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan, which I'm very much looking forward to. And after that, we had Law and Otis, which I will count both segments as the same promo. This was great. I loved just the liberal use of the dun dun. All the testimonies were great. There was a good mix of seriousness and comedy. It was exactly what you'd want from this kind of thing. I didn't mind JBL for once. He actually did the judge job really well. I loved the Teddy Long appearance. I loved the Ron Simmons appearance. Those were great. And then the satisfying ending too, leading right into Hell in a Cell. It was all perfect. And then we had the promo with Street Profits, Daniel Bryan, and Kevin Owens, featuring Sami Zayn. It was fun. I like Daniel Bryan suggesting that he get fisted.
My prince. My birthday twin.
And then we had Shorty. Oh no, we had a Seth Rollins interview. Seth on the mic. And then we had.
He's good on the mic.
He is, but it's very much Drew on a mic.
I don't see a problem with any of that, but that's fine.
Then we had Shorty G being talked to by Adam Pearce in the infirmary, where he explains him quitting. Good that he's going to Chad Gable. Something we've been long awaiting. Honestly, every time Shorty G has come onto screen in the past few weeks, I've been like, are you Chad Gable now? or are you still Shorty G? I don't know what you are now. But after that, we had Bayley in the ring with Sasha. The little brawl between them. Finally signed the contract. It was good characterization for Bayley. Good frustration from Sasha. I wish they would give a little more with Bayley, other than her just being like obviously afraid to fight Sasha. What?
I was just gonna say that we had like really good promos in the beginning of like Bayley showing like her anger, but also the fact that like she was like super insecure.
Yeah.
About like everything, and I was like, okay, cool, complex. We love that.
And now they're just trying to
stopped.
bide time right now.
Yeah.
Like every promo's been Bayley just sitting in the ring with her chair. It would be nice to get a little more from her. Some like give us a little more progress. Give us a little stipulation. Everyone loves a good stip.
We all need a stip.
Everyone needs a
Everything
stip.
needs a stip. Everyone needs a stip.
Stip 2020.
If John Cena comes back before WrestleMania, we should both get that tattooed on ourselves.
Before WrestleMania? That's a long period of time.
That is not. That's 6 months.
Before Survivor
6 months
Series.
return, and I guarantee you he won't. What? Isn't like Survivor Series the next pay-per-view?
There's already talks that like Undertaker's gonna come back for Survivor Series, so there's good odds.
Yeah, that's not John Cena.
There's good odds John Cena would too.
I'm giving it until WrestleMania.
I'm not agreeing to that, but you feel free to do that.
Wow, weak shit.
How about
weak shit?
How about before Royal Rumble at the very least?
I will give you through Royal Rumble.
No, because if he's gonna arrive at any point, it's gonna be Royal Rumble, and then he's gonna appear at Royal Rumble and then have a match at WrestleMania.
Well, what I'm saying is that if he appears at Royal Rumble,
then we get it tattooed.
Right.
I don't want that. The tattoo is the punishment. You don't give a punishment for something that's expected.
Is that a punishment?
Getting Stip 2020 tattooed on yourself, that is a punishment.
I said that we should get everyone needs a stip.
That's still a punishment.
You can get it small.
Like a little tramp stamp.
Right under your boob. Ooh, yeah, a little tramp stamp. Come on, I think it'll be fun.
Moving on.
Okay. Good question, boy, over here.
Alright, so after was it Bayley? We had the second segment of Law and Otis. Then we had the Paul Heyman promo, followed up by the Roman promo. It's kind of the same shit between Roman and Jay, except we got a little more Jimmy. We got the stip announced for Hell in a Cell. All good progress. This is the kind of progress you want to see in a storyline, Bayley and Sasha. Just having Bayley sign the contract, something that is guaranteed to happen, is not progress.
It's like, y'all already made the picture for it.
Yeah. Like, that's literally the poster for Hell in a Cell. But the Roman promo, I didn't love it. It was still just, it was that awkward biding of time. Very similar to the Drew and Randy promo that we got on Monday. Jay climbing up the fucking cage is just hilarious. And with
just
all that,
sitting there.
Yeah, just sitting there, hanging on the side. But with all that said, my pick for promo of the night is Law and Otis.
I concur. I also concur that something's happening.
What?
Yeah, I loved it. I don't know if you saw, my hair was like...
Oh no, I didn't see it.
doing weird shit. No, I really like this. We got closure to a storyline that I don't feel like we actually had to wait too awful long for, like, okay. We've had to wait a long time for closure on the storyline, but for this part of the storyline, at least we kind of got regular updates and progress.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, Jesus, what is happening today? Elizabeth. This is what happens when I don't brush my hair. I think that we got a good next steps. I think that it was funny. We got some old folks coming back. I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I had fun. I laughed. I cried. I swore.
It had everything, all the emotions, all three of them. Let me check WWE Twitter, see if they posted any more Hell in a Cell matches, and they didn't. Okay. Yeah. So.
AKA the noise Finn Balor makes.
Yeah. Weird. So, Fighter of the Night. This is no contest for me. We start off with the 8-man tag team match. Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Street Profits versus Cesaro, Shinsuke, Dolph, and Robert Roode. My pick in this fight is Cesaro. He was the only one consistently in the ring and consistently doing really well while in the ring, showing off his personality while in the ring. Everyone else had like a single moment in the ring, a single good moment. Cesaro was the main driving force in this match, which it's hard to have everyone kind of showcase themselves in an 8-man tag team match. It's not easy at all. But Cesaro definitely looked the best here. And then we had Bianca versus Zelina. Who am I picking? The puncher or the punching bag? Obviously, Bianca. And same with this next match, Shorty G versus Lars. Can't go with a punching bag. Gotta go with Lars, unfortunately. Yeah, both Bianca and Lars are just they came in, wrecked shit, and left. That's basically it. And then, last but not least, in our 4 matches today, we had Seth Rollins versus Murphy. Great showing from both of them. But I think the one who was the best wrestler today was Murphy in this match. Murphy looked fantastic. He looked great in his wrestling, and he also looked aggressive as hell. Like right from the get-go, he was just going all in. You saw that emotion that he had without him screaming how he felt every 5 seconds. Murphy is an incredible performer, and I think he really showed it off today. And even when he
says a lot.
Right, yeah, his face really helps him out here, especially because he has been the disciple of Seth Rollins for so long, somebody who is very dominant on the mic. Murphy hasn't been able to do anything but react with his face. He hasn't been a talker this whole time until now. Murphy he's so good. He was great today. Even when he had the interaction with Aaliyah, he didn't do anything, which is my favorite part. He didn't like hug her back or anything or hold her. He was just restraining himself.
Do you think he's like, my mother's watching and she's gonna kick my ass?
He's like, Alexa Bliss has made fun of me so much since this started.
I can't be the creepy ex. She has to be the creepy ex.
Do you think?
And she has dreads now.
Do you think Umberto also made fun of him for this?
I really hope. The only thing that will make this storyline worth it for me is that if I find out later down the line that like his friends at least took the piss out of him.
Yeah, and
for being a 19-year-old.
And he hated it. Like he hated the storyline. That would be great.
Yeah, I need to know that like he's not 100% down to clown with the idea of a 19-year-old being all up on his body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it's such a weird storyline to push too, because it's like I can look up their ages on the internet. Like, eh.
Yeah. It's weird. It's just weird. And the fact that they've been like kayfabing Dominic as a teenager for a while. And we all know Aaliyah is his younger sister. And if he's a teenager, what is she? That makes it even weirder.
Yep. It doesn't get better. It gets
Um,
worse.
but with all that said, my pick for Fighter of the Night is none other than Murphy.
Oh.
I think Murphy had the greater opportunity to show off his skills and his talent. Although Cesaro did an amazing job in his 8-man tag team, this wasn't the right match for him to show off. And some would say that because he had that short amount of time and he did so great, that it's a bigger compliment. But I don't think you should put one over the other just because they had less time to work with. I think Murphy overall was the best today. He made an exciting match out of this.
I agree. I'll agree with you.
Who
Mostly because I'm not going to pick this for my fight of the night.
Okay.
Just because of the way it ended. So I think it's worth it to give Murphy that acknowledgement on this one. I really liked how he fought tonight. And one thing that he does really well, and I think it's because he and Seth have been together for a while now. One thing he does really well, which is something I really like with like Ricochet and Mustafa, and even with Bayley and Sasha, is that I think because he knows Seth and he's fought alongside Seth, and they've probably trained together a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's afraid to like have to like pull his punches too soon. There were a lot of strikes that like I watched and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
are y'all like actually fighting, or should I call Adam Pearce?
I think Seth is really good with these tag team betrayals, because I watched back, I forget when this was. I think it was 2018 or 2017. Maybe it was even 2015. It was the same night that Roman Reigns was relinquishing the Universal title for his second battle with leukemia, where Dean Ambrose turned on Seth Rollins.
Oh, so this wasn't the first Shield breakup?
This was, I think this was the Shield break. This was like the official Shield breakup. The second time.
Keep going.
The second time Roman announced he was leaving to battle leukemia. It was on Raw. I'm trying to give more context. I think they just won the tag team title, and then Dean turned on Seth.
Hang on, I'm on their it's a goddamn massive Wikipedia. Let's see.
I don't remember who they beat.
Subsequent reunions. Rollins. Oh yeah, no. Rollins betrayed them first.
Okay, so this was the second breakup. This was like the last breakup of the Shield.
Yeah, because I've seen this before and it's fucking gnarly. Like it's painful.
Like
because Seth basically just like turns around and like chair shots for everyone basically.
But when Dean turns on Seth, that was brutal. Like they were cheering from winning the tag team titles, and then he just drops Seth. He pulls up the foam from below the ring, and suplexes Seth right onto the concrete.
Jesus Christ. I miss Dean Ambrose.
I do too.
God damn you, AEW.
We can always watch AEW.
And Vince. It's Vince's fault, you know that.
But yeah, everything is
honestly,
Vince's fault.
I'd straight up watch AEW for Jon Moxley and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
And Orange Cassidy. And then I'd say thanks.
Also Britt Baker.
Just walk away. Yeah.
Oh, also Brody Lee. Also, apparently Steve-O is on AEW now.
Okay, never mind. That's not a selling point for me. In the slightest.
He was in a promo.
I'm kidding. I love Steve-O.
He was doing this promo. Also, Steve-O looks fantastic, by the way. He's gone completely sober and just looks amazing.
Does he look like a person now?
He looks like a person.
He was pretty gaunt for a while.
He looks like a clean person now.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy for him.
But he was in this black and white promo with, I forget the dude's name, the wrestler who has like half a face painted like a skull, who crawls into a body bag at the top of a half pipe and just rolls down it in the body bag. It's so cringy. And Steve-O's like, hell yeah, dude.
Me, honestly, it's Elizabeth.
Okay, so now that we went through that, a little reminiscing. Fight of the night for SmackDown tonight. Again, no contest. We started off with the 8-man tag team match. Fantastic match. Great use of an 8-man tag. Just faces versus heels. Really well done. Great kind of division of time between everyone. Even when there was everyone on the outside of the ring fighting, and Tez and Dolph, I think, were in the ring. Or I think it was Tez and Dolph. When Tez got the pin, everything was still clear. Everything was still like you could tell what was going on. They weren't just focused outside of the ring while the pin happened. Really fantastic job from everyone here.
And also, can I say, you know what I think really benefited this storyline? And I think this is what hurt the 6-man tag at NXT. No one there had any overarching storyline that mattered more.
Right.
Street Profits kind of had like their beef with Cesaro and Shinsuke and with Roode and Ziggler because of the titles.
Yeah.
But like that wasn't like the main reason we were there. It was really just a bunch of people were aggravated. And I think that worked really well because we weren't starting from a point where it was like, oh, well, these two guys hate each other,
And also there was a story to watch out for, and that was Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens proving themselves as a tag team. So that was something to look out for. But it wasn't overbearing. It wasn't like It wasn't Legato rolling out of the ring and be like, heh, got him.
And nothing was like dirty. I mean, like there was obviously like people pushing people off the apron, but like
that's
it was done.
Regular tag team.
It wasn't like, I don't know. The amount of cheating that happened was fine.
It was normal Shinsuke playing dirty, where when the ref is not looking, you kick the dude in the face. That's what Shinsuke does.
Yeah.
It's no brass knuckles like Sasha. Yeah. Alright, so after that we had Bianca versus Zelina, a squash, not very fun to watch. Shorty G versus Lars, again a squash, not very fun to watch. And then we had Seth versus Murphy. The match itself was fantastic. I would love to see Seth and Murphy wrestle any other day. This was great. But the storyline surrounding it with Aaliyah, I wouldn't mind if the story was still there, but it just existed in the background. But the fact that they kept cutting to Aaliyah during the match. It was annoying. It was cringy, and it just reminded me of the awfulness surrounding this match.
I wouldn't mind this so much if Aaliyah wasn't 19.
Yeah.
Even if she was like, 24, 25, if she was like my age, I'd be like, okay, that's not that massive of a difference. It's still like 6 or 7 years, but it's not that weird. But she's 19. The person I was from, like, because I was in college when I was 19. The person I was between 19 and legal drinking age, if not a little later, compared to now, very different people.
When you're in your 20s, that's when it's fine for you to date people much older than you.
Mid-20s, I would even say.
Like 23 and older.
I mean, I know for a fact that, like, when I was younger, obviously, I was like, 21, that's like an adult. 21-year-old Elizabeth was still drinking Four Locos. That is not adult. I'm so sorry.
I was dating somebody in New Jersey when I was...
We've all made mistakes.
Yeah.
Every time I got drunk, I cried because I thought my friends hated me. I do that significantly less now. Because I'm tired and I don't get drunk as easily.
But my pick for Fight of the Night is the 8-man tag team match between Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Street Profits versus Cesaro, Shinsuke, Dolph, and Robert Roode.
Well, my God, I think we finally have a night where we actually agree on everything.
It's going to take me forever to type this out, though.
It's fine. When you are done typing that out, I need you to tell me, I want you to give me a list of all the predictions so I can type them out.
Okay. I wish they would come out and just say more matches were happening on the Hell in a Cell.
You said there's 5 right now?
There are only 5 matches. Alright, so to run it back, our picks are Promo of the Night, Law and Otis, Fight of the Night, Buddy Murphy, Fight of the Night, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, and Street Profits versus Cesaro, Shinsuke, Dolph, and Robert Roode. Alright, so, you ready? This is our predictions part of the night, where we're predicting the match results for Hell in a Cell. And for those who don't know, our new rules for pay-per-views are, for every incorrect prediction, that adds on a can of seltzer that we have to finish before the end of the night.
Yes.
And whoever gets the most correct predictions has to pick out a punishment for the other person. Anything goes. All right. So you ready for the matches?
I'm going to tell you the names of all the people I have. And then I'm missing one.
Okay.
So I've got Elias, I've got Bailey, I've got Roman, I've got Drew. Who was in the last match?
Otis vs. Miz.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't remember it.
All right, let me take one more look at the WWE Twitter. See if anything else has been announced. Does not look like it. Okay. Yeah, nothing else.
I actually made all of my predictions as we moved on. So.
And if there are any other matches announced over the course of this weekend before Hell in a Cell, we will announce our predictions on Twitter. So if you want to see that, our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. Remove the and that's the Twitter. All right, so let's start off with Jeff Hardy versus Elias. What do you got?
Oh yeah, that's the first one I typed out. I have, much as it pains me to say, but it would pain me to say either of them. I have Elias.
I have Elias too, and I feel like we are going to have the same predictions for Hell in a Cell.
We might. What were we pinning on for you? We were pinning something on. You said this Wednesday.
Oh, you're right. I'm trying to remember. I think it involved a prop or something. Why can't I remember? Did it involve Elias's guitar?
I don't think so.
Did I say like Elias would win by or something? Oh no, I think it was Elias is gonna reveal what happened with the storyline, right?
I don't think so either. Go back and watch the podcast when you have time, and
Okay.
you'll find out.
All right. Well, I also picked Elias. I think that's the only way to go with this. But next we have.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna.
Oh, do you wanna go through it?
No, I was gonna say something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I read an article that said they're pushing Elias like really fucking hard right now.
Yeah. Well,
So
it seemed like Vince hated
that
Elias.
yeah, apparently he's getting a massive push. Like they're trying to make him like a main man in WWE. So
Hmm.
I'm willing to take my bets here.
Interesting. But after that, let's move on to Otis versus The Miz. What do you have?
You might think I'm wrong.
Oh,
I have The
okay.
Miz.
Okay. I have Otis.
Okay.
And here's
This
my
is really just wishful thinking on my part, only because I just can't stand to see another Otis squash.
Well, that's the thing. Otis has been squashing The Miz and Morrison for weeks now. And Otis is gonna be the one to cash in the Money in the Bank contract. The Miz is mostly just there to push forward faces. That's like his whole thing. He did it with Big E, and now he's gonna do it with Otis. Do you have anything more to say about this match before we move on?
No, I'm just really hoping that we don't see the same match that we keep seeing.
I know. I do too. But I do think the Miz will play dirty. And I think that that will heavily factor into the match and make it more exciting other than it would be otherwise.
I would also be willing to bet that if he does win, it will not be a long served win, I guess.
If Otis wins or if the Miz wins?
No, if The Miz wins.
It won't be a...
I feel like he will not have that briefcase for very long, in that I think that they'll be like, hey, you bribed the judge, you can't do that. It's not actually a real case of like a real legal case.
But also JBL's not a real judge.
True. But you can't always say that the judge was corrupt.
Yeah. But moving on, we have... Also, I have another idea for a prediction we can do, but I'll say that once we get through all these matches.
Okay.
We have next the Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Who do you got? I might actually change mine.
I would like to know what yours is while we're here. Prediction time, sir.
I am going to be bold.
Oh dear.
And I'm going to say Jey Uso. And here's
All
why.
right, well,
Here's why.
okay.
Here's my story, more of a pitch, because I know this isn't going to happen because this is deep thinking that WWE isn't capable of. Jey Uso wins the title at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
He is then challenged by Big E relatively soon after, maybe like 2 weeks after. Big E wins because he's the one being pushed. This then leads Roman to get super pissed off at Jey, saying, you couldn't even hold on to the title. You couldn't provide for your family. And then that leads to more tension between them, him being extremely brutal on his cousin, thus requiring intervention from The Rock, saying like, hey dude, you need to chill. Like, your cousin is just being a wrestler. He's just doing his thing. Relax. And then we get WrestleMania match. So I'm going with Jey Uso.
Yeah, I mean you're off your ass. But anyways, my brain just exploded a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized that we have Roman and Seth acting as heels on the same brand. If there's a God, he'll give me one last Shield reunion.
No, because that means that we'll be getting the bulletproof vests back, and I don't want that.
No, because like the last Shield reunion that happened at the one Survivor Series, that wasn't really, they weren't wearing any doofy, well, Roman probably was, but there were no doofy vests. It was just like, hey, we're different people now, but like common goal.
If they do reform the Shield, who would be their third?
Oh no, I'm not saying reform the Shield. I'm just saying a reuniting.
But I want to know who you think they would pick as their third to reform the Shield. I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Cesaro.
Oh, I was going with Corbin.
Isn't Corbin
By
on?
the way, is Corbin? Oh, is he on Raw?
I have no idea.
Is Corbin alive? We haven't seen him in like 10 years.
He's on Smackdown because I remember Stephanie said continuing to rule on Smackdown is King Corbin. I don't know where he's been.
Yeah.
But he's still on Smackdown.
I miss him. I miss my boy.
I don't think that Seth would want to team with Corbin after what he did to Becky.
Oh, fair. Didn't think about it. But still.
Yeah.
Shield. I will call a Shield reunion if Roman and Seth do the same thing to hurt somebody, okay? I will call that a Shield reunion right there.
Okay. But moving on from that, our SmackDown Women's Championship match between Bayley and Sasha Banks. Who do you got?
Sasha.
And I have Sasha as well. I think this is obvious.
If we're both wrong, I'm gonna fly through the fucking window.
All right.
I'm so tired.
And then
plus also hang on. There's one point for Sasha's defense, which is Sasha's fought in Hell in a Cell against all three horsewomen, or the other three horsewomen. Bayley's never fought in Hell in a Cell.
True.
Vibes.
But moving on from that, our final match of Hell in a Cell for now is the WWE Championship match. I know you're hearing music. I hear it too.
No. Seth and Murphy, they were supposed to be fighting in Hell in a Cell.
That was a prediction.
No, because there was a whole thing.
That promo you mentioned?
I didn't mention a goddamn promo. I'm just saying. Back when they were still both on Raw.
Yeah, Seth mentioned something about he mentioned that hell or something.
Yeah, but then afterwards he said something about Hell in a Cell.
Let me take another look at WWE's website and see what they say. See what their listing is for it. Let's see. On the cell. Why does it say tomorrow? I guess
it's midnight.
Yeah. Why is this website so difficult? I don't want to watch any pay-per-view. Search. Hell Cell. 2019. It was Hell in a Cell 2020. Okay. Let's see. Sorry for the for the delay. And for some reason I'm not on Wi-Fi anymore. Just on data.
Nice.
Okay. So, yeah, they don't even have Otis and Miz on their page on WWE.com. They just have Roman, Drew, Bailey, Elias.
Did I smoke crack when I said that this was happening?
I guess. I don't know. But if there is an announcement coming in, we will make a prediction on Twitter. But we're just gonna make predictions for the announced cards right now. All right, so
Yeah. Continue.
we have Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Who do you have?
Same shit, different day, baby.
Drew?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going down on the train.
I got Randy Orton for this. I picked
Oh,
Drew.
you little puss.
I picked Drew last time and he won. And all of these matches between Randy and Drew have been going my way. So Randy's got it this time.
Alright, I'm just saying that, like, as I say every time, I'll drink if he wins and I'll drink if he loses. So one way or another, I'm drinking.
Alright, so that's all of our matches right now. Like I said, every incorrect prediction adds another can of seltzer that we have to finish. Hard seltzer, I should add. That we need to finish before the end of the podcast that night. And the winner, which is the person with the most correct predictions, will choose the punishment for the loser. And the final prediction that I wanted to run by you. Do you think there will be a 24/7 title defense or a match, I guess, at Hell in a Cell? I say yes.
I'll say yes. I mean, I don't see why not. It's an easy, quick little thing that they can do. And they love peppering those into because there's not so many promos that you can do during a pay-per-view. That basically counts as a promo.
Mm-hmm.
But do you also want to take bets on the two predicted matches? We normally do the predicted matches as well.
Okay. Are we going based on the CBS one?
Right.
All right, let me pull that back up. Where? Okay. All right, so for the predicted matches, we have... Oh, now CBS doesn't want to show it. Thanks, CBS.
I can tell you what it is.
Okay.
For the first one, it's Seth versus Dom versus Murphy. You talked about this earlier today with me.
All right, so Seth versus Dominic versus Murphy. This one's tough just because of where the storyline's been going. I personally, I think that Dominic will come out on top in this. Murphy definitely won't because he needs to seem like the babyface victim that Aaliyah runs to his side for. And Aaliyah won't really like Murphy if he beats Dominic's ass. You chose... Wait, who'd you pick?
Yeah, I'm choosing Murphy.
You're choosing Murphy? Okay.
Yeah. I feel like it makes a lot of sense if he were to win, just because, like, then he's more powerful than Seth in a sense, and he also kind of, like, betrays Aaliyah in whatever weird way. And then it's kind of like, it's torn. What does he do?
Mm-hmm.
But it would also give him an opportunity to pin Seth and win.
Right.
Which I think is more important than pushing Dominic right now. And it seems like they're pushing Murphy into that face position real fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what was the other prediction? Kevin Owens versus Aleister Black?
Yes.
All right. I personally don't think this will happen at all, considering we did not get Aleister Black at all today. But I think Aleister will win.
I do too.
They're gonna push his storyline. The only way to do it is to have him win a match and kind of reveal himself afterwards. Kind of in the same way Jeff Hardy did from that barroom brawl.
Right. Yeah, I really, I think that we already know Kevin's character well enough that, like, if Aleister were to win, that would give us more of an insight into him. So,
right.
I agree. But again, I'm sure we will not see this match, but it would be nice.
All right, so quickly run it back. Jeff Hardy versus Elias. We both picked Elias. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. You picked Roman. I picked Jey. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. I picked Randy. You picked Drew. Bailey versus Sasha Banks. We both picked Sasha Banks. Otis versus The Miz. I picked Otis. You picked The Miz. And 24/7 defense title, or 24/7 title defense. We both said yes, there will be one. And then
this still leaves room for the potential that you did have a stipulation somewhere along the lines that we don't remember now.
Right. Yes, I will look back in the podcast and let's see what I agreed to. Oh, and there's the cat.
Look at her, she's so peaceful. So peaceful. Oh, look at the puppy. Oh, so sad.
All right, Liz, do you want to close this out?
I would love to. Please join us on... no, that's not where I start. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate when folks watch us. We love that. And if you're watching in the future, thank you. We appreciate that as well. I don't care if it's now or later. Please join us on Sunday. We will have our fun and most likely intoxicated, because considering the number of different votes that Mark and I have, someone's gonna get fucked.
But also, there's so few matches.
Fair. Which really works out perfectly for us, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But please join us Sunday for Hiak. And then, less than 24 hours later, join us on Monday for Raw.
And then on Wednesday we have Halloween Havoc, which we'll have our predictions for on Monday.
And on Friday we have Smackdown.
And the Monday after that we have Raw.
Dread Raw. The night before the elections.
Oh.
Dread Raw. And then Wednesday, after that,
Aftermath NXT.
Celebratory NXT. Oh no. Oh. We'll either be hungover or we'll be hungover.
We'll be hungover.
We'll be hungover.
All right.
I gotta get through it.
All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. Again, join us on Sunday for Hell in a Cell. And if you enjoyed, please hit that follow button below. If you're watching on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. What are you doing? If you're not subscribed, most of our viewers are not subscribed. So do that. There's no reason to not do it. You'll be notified whenever we put up a new podcast or whenever we go live. And if you're watching on YouTube, join us on the live show. We love to chat with you. We love to chat with our amazing fans. And if you're watching on Twitch, go to the YouTube. You can check out all of our past episodes. You can check the rest of this episode in case you missed any of it. And follow us on Twitter. That's at Pinfall Podcast. We have the full name finally. Follow our personal Twitters as well. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Elaine23. And you know what? Follow my personal Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Mark Cameron. We're all working on a huge project, getting together a bunch of streamers and a bunch of just people in general, Pokemon players, and doing a mix of WWE and Pokemon. I've got a title match this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Check out twitch.tv's... What?
Today.
Yeah,
13
today.
hours you have it.
Today. Yeah, 13 hours. You won't want to miss it. Twitch.tv/Mark Cameron.
Oh, is Mark Cameron coming to the...
Mark Cameron will be here at the Hell in a Cell post-show.
Okay, cool. Is he staying the whole time, though?
He is staying the whole time. He will be drunk. But don't blame him, because he has a tough decision to make tomorrow. He may have been threatened to throw the match, but we'll see.
You should probably talk to your commissioner about that or something.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on
she's a lovely lady.
Sunday for Hell in a Cell.
Sunday.